Hi friends, it's Amanda. Welcome back for more Hip Kit Club inspiration. Joining you today for some Make It love and playing along with our fabulous recipe challenge that's happening this week in our Facebook group. So make sure you pop over to the Facebook friends and fans page for the Hip Kit Club to play along with us. For my tags element and for the frames, I'm going to fussy cut that paper. I'm going to fussy cut some butterflies for sure. I love those blooms and I had a few of them left over from the previous layout, so I'm going to use them. I'm going to fussy cut some of these lovelies as well. This is pattern paper number 8 from Pink Paisley's Fifth and Monaco, and the gorgeous letters on this paper from the stamp market and from the Miss Modern collection. I'm actually going to fussy cut them all out and use them for my large title. So today the recipe included you must have frames, so you can see I've cut those tags up to turn them into frames. I've got tags. You needed a white cardstock background, we need stitching, we need your large title, and at least 3 pattern papers. So I've got all my elements covered, and now I'm just going to start playing with the design. So coming in, as I said, with that fabulous fussy cut tags and created frames from the Miss Modern papers. And that beautiful aqua or teal stripe is also from that same pattern paper, so it's just the other side of it. So I'm making the most of that entire sheet of paper. And these are those fussy cut blooms, and they're actually from not that fresh sheet you saw from my paper kit, but actually from last week's layout. So if you saw the layout I made last week, I had lots of leftovers, so I just wanted to make the most of them. Got that darling photo of my sweet girl, and well, it's not going to quite fit in that frame. I think I can make it work. Yeah, we'll just tuck some florals in. And yeah, so mixing the florals today. So there's fussy cut florals from both the Stamp Market and Pink Paisley, and yeah, just lots of lovelies. I think there's so many pretty florals, I just couldn't help myself. And these 2 corner pieces that really you can't do a lot with them, but I thought, what if I butt them together and layer just the tiniest little bit over that join, and you won't even know it, and it'll still give that beautiful full bloom effect. And I thought that would look quite cute, and just making the most of those other pieces. So yeah, this is my layout sort of evolving as I went. I guess my aim was just to use lots of beautiful papers and yeah, just have fun telling our story. But that alpha paper, I could not resist cutting it up. I thought it was such an amazing sheet to create a background with, but how cool to not fussy cut out the alphabet and make words from it for titles. So I'm going to create my title now, and it's the word loved. Of course, you have to be clever with your titles because you only get one of each letter. So I actually originally wanted to put cherished, and then I realized cherished won't work because you've only got one E. So yeah, having to think about that part. But I do love how cool this looks. And I'm actually thinking, instead of sticking my title down, I'm going to run some stitching through it, because of course that's part of the recipe challenge anyway, is to feature stitching. So I think I'll stitch my title in, and then just a few fussy cut butterflies from the Fifth and Monaco collection, just to, yeah, add a few scatters and a bit of interest and some movement and flow on the page as well, and some directional, yeah. And you know, that's my sort of plan, but you know me, I'm going to fuss and I'm going to move things around and they'll never go back in the same place. But generally, this is how my layout will look. Yeah, and I'll stitch through that part as well. I think that teal trim would look really lovely if it was stitched through. I like the idea of popping in a bow on 1 or 2 of those main pieces, maybe even, yeah, using the orange as that more dominant colour because it's featured at the top as well. I like that. But yeah, just playing and having lots of fun today because there's so many gorgeous things in our May kits, and how could I not resist? Oh, and the other thing I had to feature was stamping. I forgot about the stamping. I wasn't lucky enough to snare one of the stamps. They'd already sold out from the May kit. So I've dived into, I think that was an October Hit Kit Club exclusive stamp, but it's one from the fall. But I just liked some of the words on it, and I think it will work really lovely with my layout today. So dived into my stash for that one, but going to use that for my stamping element today. So speeding things up because of course we already know how this is looking, and we're just going to glue things down. But I didn't want to completely get rid of the footage because it's always good to see how I end up changing things just ever so slightly. I do foam mount that main one in the middle there. I think it looked better if I foam mounted it. It just had a bit more definition, and I lowered it a little as well so you could see more of that gorgeous orange and pink bloom, and I think that's really pretty. I'm really happy with how that's actually turned out. So Just adding my photo to my frames now, and of course those frames were made from the tags on that cut apart sheet, and I like how that actually turned out. It's really quite cute, and that little pop of teal just to tie back in with that stripe at the bottom as well. Lovely. Highlights of green to cut through all those other bright, beautiful colours. Just gorgeous. Really striking, and I do love how this looks. I'm just going to fuss with that bottom floral though. I want to make sure I've got it exactly in the right spot, because I'm going to have to stitch and put things in place for definite, so I need to make sure I've got this right. So off camera I've gone and double stitched that bottom piece, and then I've also stitched through that title, so my title's now held in place. You can see it's lifting a little. I actually did that on purpose. I wanted to have that soft texture and dimension that I love my layouts to feature, so just a little bit more movement on the page. And then I won't actually glue that trim down until I've got my tags in place and I know where I want everything. So that was the advantage of stitching separately, apart from saving my sewing machine needle. So yeah, and that's because I change things ever so slightly and move things, and and I already like that darker, smaller black butterfly on the loved title. I think that's much better proportion wise, and because it's so contrasting, it's so deep and dark, and I think it's balanced better there. And just messing around with these tags now. They look good. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And these florals, I need to make sure that they're located in all the right spots, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm going to go and start sticking these down as well now, and you'll see I tuck it just ever so slightly under those florals as well, so you get that sense of layered dimension, and even though it's soft and subtle, it really does help to make the difference. So yeah, and most of my florals, as you know, I don't like to stick the leaves down. I tend to put a little bit of tape in the center of the flower, and then I do lift those leaves just ever so slightly all the time. I have foam mounted my photograph just so it pops that little bit more, because of course there's a lot of bright dominant color on this page, and I still want you to see her photo and not get lost. It's important that that's the feature. I'm just fussing with those butterflies as well now, making sure everything is where it should be. And I was a little undecided on those last couple, so before I stuck them down, I wanted to add in things that I definitely was happy with. So just adding in that bow there, and pulling out the 6x12 accent stickers from the Pink Paisley 5th and Monaco now. And I love that word always. I think that just finishes my title perfectly, so loved always. And then the cute little birdies, why not have them in? Of course, they're just divine, and she's our sweet little bird. She's a gorgeous little girl. Not so little anymore though, growing up too fast. Adding in those butterflies now for sure. I liked that gold foiled word, remember you're loved always, but it was too warm. The page is very cool, and I felt like it wasn't cutting through. It was just looking awkward. So sticking with just the butterflies, I love how that looks. So I'm just going to trim up those edges, and then the stamping. So here's the gorgeous Grateful for You stamp, and because I'm using texture cardstock, it was a little bit uneven in my stamping. There was a few little spots where it just didn't quite go in, so I'm just touching that up with a black felt tip pen there. But yeah, so that was the October Hit Kit Club exclusive stamp, and it said Grateful for You, and this part here says Happy Days. And I think that's just a lovely sentiment that you can dive into your stash at any time and reuse all our products. Just because it was made for fall doesn't mean it won't work at any other time. Absolutely beautiful stamps. So finishing off with a few enamel dots from the Pink Paisley 5th and Monaco. And look, that's pretty much my layout today. I've got lots of close-ups and things coming for you, so stick around for those. Don't forget, this was the May kits. They've sold out. June has sold out, so be sure to lock in a Hip Kit Club subscription so you don't keep missing out. There are so many awesome things headed your way. So I'll have details for the Hip Kit Club in the description box below. And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and all those things. But mostly, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all your kindness and support. It really means the world. Thank you, and have a wonderful, happy Arty days. Bye.